There we go. Well, usually, when there's good news to share, there's usually some sort of goofy thing that's gonna happen. But, anyways, welcome again. I'm gonna repeat myself now. Welcome to Trading with Morpheus. Today, we're gonna continue making money. We're gonna make money. We're going to take advantage. We're gonna do a little bit of trading in the tournament, like we did yesterday with AI. Um, and there's going to be an unemployment statistic from Canadian government, so CAD should be affected, and we're going to take advantage of the retracement, all right? And chats are open right now. I'm pretty sure my boy Donald and Henry are going to, hop in just a minute. But, for all of you who might be joining the stream right now, chats are open. Ask me anything about financial independence. What does that mean to you? All right, and if you watch this video later, make a comment. You'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about binaries, about traditional investing. What kind of goals do you have, and things like this. So, anyways, let's kind of hop to it. As you can see, in yesterday's video, we made. I've sent a screenshot to the Telegram channel if anybody's interested, but essentially, the statistic wasn't really that hot. If truth be told, we had only 40% success rate, but we made $144. So this was less than 1 hour worth of trading because I'm yammering all the time about the importance of certain things. But yesterday we did a little bit extra aggressive trading. So instead of like $40 per hour, we eked out 144, but remember, my balance can handle this, right? So my balance, which is like 33K, within that particular range, when I trade with $10, it's still something that's acceptable. So if you have $100, opening a $10 position is really not that smart, not that wise. But, nothing really that I need to be telling you guys because you've been watching my videos and you understand essentially the importance of money management. So yesterday I touched base a little bit on how to make free money, risk-free completely. Right? The beautiful thing about pocket option, link is below. So make sure you click the graph is live and the graph is identical whether you're in Russia, whether you're in India, whether you're in America, whether you're in some European country. The graph is identical. That's a beautiful thing about this, that there's no funny business going on. And the graph is identical whether you're in Eurodollar OTC in the real account, in the demo account, or in our case, in the tournament. So, in the tournament, in the demo account, you don't really have the AI trading, which, kind of, I mean, I can see the point of pocket option saying, well, there's no money on the line, really. Well, what's the point? But nevertheless, in tournaments, you are able to kind of, to test this. So the beautiful thing about tournaments and the AI button being available is that you are able to do this on the go. If you're waiting for a bus somewhere, right, this is a great way to actually, on a monthly basis, or maybe put some money in your pocket. And the plan, right? The plan is that you are opening a position for about 1% of your balance with multiplier, right? We do martingale. It's a money management system with martingale of 1.5. If you do that, then that means you have six steps to take advantage of, right? To get one winning trade. Yesterday, AI did us a little bit dirty. AI did us wrong. So, but once again, considering that this is completely risk-free, you got an opportunity to put some money in your pocket. So here's the thing. Start with $1 because our balance is $100. We start with $1 and then we go to 150, then 375, then 938, then 2344, and then max. But usually the next step is like $57. The result is that it's going to be essentially risking $100, but in 6 steps of martingale, and that's the kind of like the interesting part about this. Why? Because it's very rare that some sort of indicator will give you a false signal. So you could do this with actual, like, with setting up your own indicators and kind of like, taking maybe a bit bigger positions, a bit more risque. But if you're on the phone, if you're on the go waiting for a bus, it's actually very difficult to do support resistance levels, right? To actually set up a particular trend line, it's a little bit more pain in the ass, really. If we're talking about doing it on your mobile. But you can register to tournament from computer before you leave, for work, whatever, and it's going to be available on your phone, and all you got to do is just follow proper money management. As soon as our balance, right, it's $100, we start with $1, but as soon as it turns to $110, we open with $1.10. And once again, we calculate the martingale. I have the sheets. I have the Excel sheets. You don't even need to plug it in. This is something that I will send you specifically for free, right? I created a formula in the sheets. You can adjust the martingale. It's going to give you the next steps. And just follow the plan. Follow the plan. So, all right. So let's start. We got about an hour to kill, right? So it's 14:37. If we take a look at economic calendar this week right here, let's apply settings, and there we go. We see that today, Friday at 3:30 p.m., we got Canadian employment change, right, and unemployment rate. This is actually something that's quite impactful on the economy, because if you guys got a job, if you're secure in your next paycheck, you are going to spend your money. When you spend your money, you expand the economy. Anyways, so this is something that we're going to do in, like 40 to like 50 minutes or something. And, so I can't really say I guarantee, but, if you stay tuned, you are going to see an impulse, and there should be a retracement happening in the same minute. If not, it's going to happen on the next. And here we are going to look at opening a position for a first step martingale with $100. Right, so 100, 150, and then 375 it's going to be in the first minute. And then I'm going to take a look at the indicators if there's some sort of shocking statistic, and the retracement happens the minute after, the one after, right? So anyways, stay tuned. This is going to be kind of exciting today. And I don't know. I think that, I could essentially, let's see, it's 92%, right? Yeah, 92%. And I could, put some indicators here. Um, we've done a bunch of them already, and I don't know, I kind of like my my favorites. All right, so wait, not done channel. Wait, I kind of clicked two of them, didn't I? All right, so fractal and awesome oscillator. I don't know. Parabolic is fine. Maybe super trend. All right, let's remove done channels. We're gonna actually do that later. And I can comment. I guess I can comment what I would have done till the end of the minute. But here's the beautiful thing about AI. It chooses what kind of expiration, and more often than not, it's going to choose like 5, 10, 15, rarer 30 seconds, almost never 1 minute. But nevertheless, it, once in a while happens. So you'll have actually like 3, 4, 5 expirations per minute, and which kind of cuts down on the time it takes to get your $100 into the realm where you're on the top 3 winning spots. All right, so let's start. All right, so we're starting. There we go. Okay, wait a second. Let's actually choose this to be seen. There we go. It's got like 5 seconds, maybe 10-second expiration. I lost. All right, so we go to 150 and we open again. It's still, you know what? Yeah, I would have been selling as well. We got actually a really good signal from Shaft, from MACD, from Parabolic, that it should be going down. Alright, next one is going to be 375, and I'm actually thinking that I would actually maybe want to open a position myself to go down till the end of the minute, but we're going to kind of stick to our plan, 6 steps of martingale, alright, there we go, we won, so we go back to first step. And that's all you really do, is you just mind the money management, and you just click your AI button in the tournament. All right, so tournaments, for some reason it's set up. I would have continued to go down, but as I mentioned, I would have continued to go down till the end of the minute, right? So not for like 5 seconds. Now this one's actually what is it? It's like a 15-second, right? 15-second, or actually no more, 30-second expiration, and it said that within 30 seconds it should rebound, go up a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know really. It seems like it's a bit rushed. You know, as I mentioned, all of the signals so far point for a few more red candles. Okay, what's the next one through? Okay, so, come on, get out of here. All right, it still says up. All right, and we've made it. There it is. All right, so you go back to first step. Notice we're already at $1.02. Not very exciting in the beginning, but it has a snowball effect. All right, so we go to 150 and we wait. All right, we lost. We go to 375. You know, well, some of you might actually go, you know, all in on, you know, so you win, but you lose, it's no big deal. But if you win, you got $200 and you start with $2 first step, all right, and it becomes a little bit, I don't know, maybe more exciting. So maybe you can miss a day or two if you're kind of like losing on the first day, losing on the second day, losing on the third. But one of these days you're gonna, you know, double your balance immediately, and well, you know, almost double, 92%. And this is something that usually um, gives you a little bit, you know, bigger advantage, because for us to trade right now from $100 to 100 or $200 or 192, it's actually going to take some time. It's going to take like, you know, maybe over an hour. But as I mentioned, afterwards though, it should pick up the pace, right? So 100 to 110, we go with $1.10. 110 to 120, we go with $1.20 as a first step martingale, and so on. So it's all about probabilities, and probabilities are usually pretty good with regards to, you know, not hitting the sixth step. All right, we didn't lose this time. We kind of ended on the same quote, so we're opening again for the same time. So you just gotta mind the proper money management. At some point, you can actually, you know, play around with the sheets that I can send you. If you guys reach out to me in Telegram, I'll send you the sheets for proper martingale, you know, calculation, depending on your balance, and you can play around to give yourself a seventh step martingale. So theoretically, you go all in the first position, and what's the next one? Next is 938, and you're essentially, wait, let me actually plug that in. All right, so if we have um $192. Yeah, you would need $234 for your starting step to be $1 with multiplier 1.5. And so yeah, you would need $234 to be able to. Oh, wait a second. No. No, 7 steps, so 57. There's, oh no, I'm sorry, 140. So yeah, if you double your balance immediately. And it doesn't look like we won the previous trade either. Yeah, 938, 2344. All right, there we go. And next one's going to be all max. And actually, if we lose that one, it's once again no big deal. We didn't really lose anything. And we can do a little bit of technical trading. And it looks like we did win, though. There we go, $111. So now we change our martingale for $1.10. Right, so maybe, you know, maybe we could essentially see if we can get it up to $140, and then we'll have essentially 7 steps of martingale, and again we improve our odds, the probability of staying in the tournament till the end. All right, so let's kind of keep up with this. If you guys got any questions about, I don't know, my favorite drink, my I don't know, something about trading. I've been doing this for, God, you know, a very, very long time. Since actually 11th grade, when I had a very good economics teacher, Mr. King. I remember this man was a short. Actually, it looked like Mr. Wait, what was his name? And Saved by the Bell, Mr. Yeah, you know what? I don't remember. But he was a funny looking guy, but you know, he was actually really, really good at what he did. So anyways, what's your favorite form of investing? This is something that maybe you can share with us in chats right now or in comments afterwards. I go through comments always to kind of clarify any thoughts that you might have about this. The times are kind of tough right now, so taking chances is not really something that anybody likes. So that's why this being such a profitable instrument, we need to be very careful with regards to how we invest, right? So often enough, I do get questions from my new students, my VIPs, where we do one-on-one trading, like with Henry and Donald over here. And they're asking, how is it that you're not a millionaire? The thing is that I'm not chasing, that kind of thing. Because, it's going to come in time. The thing is that uh, I use this to gather a little bit of money and then extract it and invest it into something else. I got a bunch of real estate all over the world, and I'm looking to actually expand right now. I want to buy some kind of like a hotel room in Dubai, and we'll see if that's going to happen or not. But right now, I'm actually going in to sell one of my properties to split the cash flow into two, and then yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a credit, but I got money coming in from other properties to cover this. All right, so nothing's really coming out of my pocket, and essentially, because I am good at what I'm doing. Truth be told, to explain this properly, this is something that I've been doing. I've been talking to people about this since 2012, but as a representative of a broker. So right now, I decided to do it for myself, and would really love for this not to be a monologue, but a dialogue. So hop in here, don't be shy. Ask some questions, get some answers, get some opinion, maybe personal opinion perhaps, but nevertheless, I think that I'm qualified to give you a little bit of background on, some of these thoughts and ideas. All right, so as you can see, so far we're doing pretty good, right? All right, not like super massive profit. Actually, the thing about this is that you get most money on the first, right? Because with $1 investment, you get 92 cents, and on the third, not on the second. On the second, with the 1.5 multiplier, right? Like here. All right, so we lost $1. We opened for $1.50, which means we're gonna get. Oh, why are we opening for $1? Tweet. We should be opening for $1.10. That's why I'm wondering why is it so slow. Anyways, but if we lose right there 150, we go to 3. Okay, so if we would have won on 150, we would have won $1.38, which means that we only got into profit by 38 cents. But if we win on 375, we win 345 minus 250, and it's going to be like 95 cents. Right, so the next one is what, 938. So you just stick to proper martingale. Actually, if you become good at this, it could eventually transfer into your real account trading. This is also a great way to boost up your experience. All right, so right now it looks like we're not going to win this one. Next one's going to be 23.44. All right, there we go. All right, right now it should, it says that it's going to be going up, but I'm actually believing that it should be having a bit of a retracement. But we're going to wait. There we go. All right, there we go. Opening a position now. This one's for 5 seconds. It's very fast. In the money. All right, good enough for me. All right, so $1.20. See, now we're already over, $123. So now we start with $1.20. All right, where does it say? It says, I don't even know what. It says, yeah, for retracement. So yeah, I do agree. I would have done the same thing. Or I would have waited at least for this position to close. All right, next one, let's actually adjust to 1.2 now. As the, 1.2, there we go. So next one is $1.80 if we lose. It doesn't look like we're going to lose. All right, there we go. Opening again now for $1.20, still downwards. This one's going to be like 10 seconds, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think that this would actually still be going upwards. So, but depending on the time interval. So we're in the money. All right, opening again. So it's $1.24. So that's essentially the formula, right? And right now, what I really don't want to do is make sure that I don't miss. All right, so we got 40 minutes. I don't know, did we make money on this one? I missed it. Yes, we did. All right, so we got 40 minutes until Canadian unemployment statistics. I'm still here. If anybody wants to ask any kind of questions, comments, concerns, would be more than happy to turn this into a dialogue. So hop in here, ask me anything that might be on your mind. All right, we lost that one, yeah? Yes, we did. Okay, so we lost $1.20. Next position is $1.80. All right, super exciting. But again, we're not doing any technical analysis. This is just about, and again, trying to prove a point that most people think that it's here that you make money, that you have to find some sort of super signal. And I'm saying that it needs to, yeah, that's important part as well. But I'm saying, for example, that you really should focus a little bit more on how you open positions, or rather, what kind of amount that's involved. Everything is about probability, because I'm no longer have to be bound by the rules of the interests of the company. I can say things like this. I can tell you that, dude, this is not really about some sort of super signal to get like 100%. There's never 100%, which means that you need to kind of play the odds. All right, we lost this one as well, right? For 11, 28.13. Let's go for 28.13. All right, what do we got? It goes for sell. Oh, 5 seconds and sell. All right, wow, okay. 28.13, 60. Oh, essentially we could pretty much go all in. All right, 6 step. Let's see. If it's gonna win, it's gonna win. If not, we can go back to our real account and do some technical trading a little bit differently than in. Yeah, all right, we lost. All right, so again, we got our 6 steps. All right, so maybe this is where we could, because in tournaments you kind of have to go aggressive. Um, but on the other hand, if you have enough time, maybe you can stop at 3rd step and start all over again, right? In my real account, I mean, I usually don't go beyond 4th. I actually like to stop even at 2nd sometimes. And so very important thing, once again, you are able to, just like I mentioned before already, you are able to adjust this for your own. I mean, I'm not asking you to do exactly what I'm doing, right? And but the idea is, once again, probabilities. Statistically speaking, how often do you get a negative, a negative trade based on your signals? Actually, here, this is what we were doing yesterday, right? Involving ATR a little bit, right? ATR right now with ADCNY is actually kind of going down, so the candles that we're expecting to see should be smaller. We got red, green, red bars, so we really don't have a bit, interest, kind of like a interest from the bulls or the bears. We're looking at the ADX, it's, around 24%, but I think that it's still kind of low. All right, so we got green, we got everything going up. I would actually say that here I would like to wait till the end of the, well, till the breakout, right? Right now we got an upward trend. There we go. We set up a support level, and we're going to take a look, so maybe in a little bit. The fact that it's going up, it's actually pretty good. Where is the next level of interest? And this is something that we can kind of establish. Next kind of level where it bounced off several times was here. Maybe next one here. Right now, it's testing this particular level right here. All right, so if it breaches, if it goes up, it could continue to go up to the next one, but not really that much higher, a little bit. And then if it's going to go, then probably maybe to this level, and then maybe to this level. But it looks like it could be reversing. We got a couple of red bars, and we got the MACD line rounding out. All right, so that's where we're going to wait a little bit to get another confirming signal. So if shaft is going to start pointing down, if in the next 40 seconds there's going to be another red bar, then more rounding out, then we got also the positive and negative directional movement index crossing. And if ADX is going to start going up, then we're going to have a little bit, kind of like of a trend. It looks like parabolic is about to switch. So let's go to a like a $5 position. Let's go to the next expiration. And in 10 seconds, we should see a bit more clearly if we're expecting the following candle to be red. Right, the volatility. Okay, we got an early signal from, I'm going to take it. Ah, there we go. Signal was good, just entered a bit late. All right, we got parabolic switching to the top. We got the fractal. We got in third bar, so it could be, we could actually go with aggressive martingale with the multiplier of 2. And I do believe that the next candle or the one after should be red. Unless something goofy happens, and it is a possibility. That's why, again, we're not opening something for like $100, because the next position would have to be something 150. If you lose 2 positions like that, it's kind of like psychologically traumatizing. Just lost 250 bucks in a matter of actually while taking it safe, right? And in a matter of like a couple of minutes, and that's not always a good feeling. That's why you're probably going to go and hit up the next position even, um, even bigger, because you kind of have to get that money back. So always make a position where you're not really that vested into, so if it's always okay to stop. You know what, hey, I lost 40 bucks today, I'm going to stop. That's okay. Because as long as it's not $40 in one position, then it's hard to stop, because it's not really small money. All right, so what we got ADX pointing down. Actually, it's good, dropping below 20%, which means I'm probably not going to take another position, because there is a possibility that this would be a second point contact right here, and it could go up further. So see, it's still dropping very, very little, and it could actually dip out of my profit right now. So far, we're still in profit, but it's like by the skin of the teeth. So I might actually go to a different currency pair, just because I don't particularly like this kind of situation. Or I could take a look at something a bit smaller, right? So I still believe that it could go down, but look, MACD, right? MACD line, signal line right here, they're actually going horizontal now. ADX is dropping, so there we go. It's below 20. Volatility is pointing down. So yeah, I do believe that it should be going down a bit further, but we still need to be a little bit more cautious with this. All right, what do we got? Okay. I kind of like the situation here as well. We got, maybe because we're trading 1-minute candles, not really need to go that far back, but we got a relatively decent uptrend. And so we got a 2-point contact, right? Previous buy signal was here from shaft, from MACD. See, it's nice and beautiful going upwards for a while. Volatility is dropping. Seems like every time we pick a currency pair, the volatility starts to drop. But we got a 33% ADX, so I'm kind of thinking that it still should be going upwards, though candles are going to become smaller and smaller, which means that this asset could be sawing its, particular level for a while. But even if it goes sideways to this point right here, this would be a 3rd-point contact and a confirmed level of support, at which point means that if it's going to bounce away, that's really good, because on the 4th time, if it breaks through, chances are it's going to continue to break through good. Look, we got already rounding out of the MACD line, we got a first red bar. Volatility seems to be rising a little bit, but we'll see. All right, so here, yeah, see, there we go. There's a sell signal right here. But once again, because ADX is like at 19, there's not really any kind of proof that it should be going down for a while. It could actually do something like this. And dip down, kind of sort of it goes under, but then you can come right back up and do this goofy thing where it goes sideways for a bit. Alright, so we're going to keep an eye out on this and see if we can take a better position. Oh, wait a second. 77. No, screw this. I want 90. No, none of this. We need 92% for these things to be relevant. Alright, so volatility is low, but we got a buy signal right here from shaft. We got a buy signal from parabolic. We got all right, let's go for it. Let's take a position. All right, let's take a position. but for a small one, right? Let's take a position here. All right, so I'm not particularly thrilled about this, not really that exciting, but there we go. We opened it. There we go. We have like see, you don't have to open so when you choose the expiration, you have to open within that expiration. Right, so it could be for like, if I open right now, it's going to be like 45 seconds until the end, right? So let's do that. See, 45 seconds until the end of the candle and essentially end of the expiration period. So it's not going to be a minute and 30, whatever seconds, but that's kind of what we got. Low volatility, low moment, kind of inertia. So it's not something that's going to go up for a while. Um, in my opinion, and based on the signals that we've got provided, but at some point it could actually just kind of saw this level. Very small candles. We kind of entered at a good time. And as you can see there, we didn't open it for the full minute. We opened it at like 40, well, what is it, 45 seconds, right, or whatever. And there we go, we're in the money. All right, so not really feeling Euro JPY right now as well. Let's take a look at Euro GBP. Also, this particular thing right here, not really clear. See, we got the same thing with the signal line and MACD line. No, don't want to be part of that. All right, Euro dollar, my favorite. My favorite. Okay. Okay. Super low volatility with ADX at 14, so it's got absolutely no direction, right? So we got a sawing, right, from about here. It's kind of going up and down, right, or somewhere around here, around the middle of this highest movement and the lowest movement. We got, if we put a line right here, we got a resistance level that it hasn't been able to breach yet. So let's find a few 92 percenters and we're going to hunt down maybe a better situation. But right now we got a sell signal, all right, from MACD and from shaft and from parabolic, though fractal on this candle says that it's going to be going up. But you see, these are candles, even though we got crap load of indicators on the screen and it's kind of pinching the graph, these candles are super freaking small. All right, so if you take a look right here, right, euro dollar, the fourth digit after the decimal, that's a pip. All right, so we're looking at 1956 to 1957. That's one pip. This particular body of the candle is one pip. It's ridiculously small. So I'm not sure if I would be kind of inclined right now until I see a rising of the ADX, until I see a bit of rising from the volatility. Right here, see, when this line reaches, around this level right here, look at the candles, right? They're actually, at least a couple of pips, right? At least like maybe 2 pips, right? 7-1, and the lowest is 6-4, right? So essentially what? We got 7 pips in this candle right here, 7 pips. So that's what we want. We want the volatility to be pointing up and rising to a point where it gets around this level, so that we see candles that are at least like 5, 6, 7 pips. So right now, super low, not really feeling it, so we're going to hunt down something a little better perhaps. Also, a bit on the low side. See, it takes forever for the MACD to go to the zero line. We got ADX showing, just barely around 20% where we could start thinking about a trend, though it's been going up for a while, and I would actually say that if you analyze the market, sometimes you'd be like, you know what, there's nothing really good, and don't beat a dead horse, as the Americans say, don't trade during these kind of moments. If there's no volatility, if there's no decent movement, then you're kind of relying on luck, and sometimes luck is kind of crappy. Look, it's pretty much almost at the all-time low, right? And what we're looking at, about 5 hours worth of data on the screen. There it is. This was where it was the lowest, right? So these kind of candles, they're kind of small. And in this case, this was the highest where we got, relatively decent candles. So I wouldn't try. Okay, wait a second. Now, we could have a possible start of volatility. This would be a bit interesting. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4-point contact. And I would actually say that trend is your friend. You want to kind of continue with it, but we don't have new signals for a trend. See, there's a buy signal right here from shaft. And it's been going up for a relatively long time. We got a buy signal from MACD. Again, it's been going up for a long time. Once again, pay attention to the previous levels of interest. Next one is right about here, right? So there it is. It did reach this level and it came back down. So again, it's facing resistance at this level, right? It might go up a little bit down, might actually saw this particular level for a bit, but I actually do believe that it should be going down sooner than later. We're looking at this level, once again, let me actually draw this out with you guys, right? And let's make sure that this is visible. Let's make it a 3. Alright, so right there we go. Alright, so now this level right here is the level of interest, right? So there we go. It came. Maybe I would say maybe just a little bit less if we're looking at somewhere here, right, at the highest point. So for it to continue to go up, is it possible? Hell yeah, no, it is possible. But we need to keep an eye out on the next levels of interest. So around here, then around here. Where it, kind of met resistance, and then around here, at the highest point on the screen. So does it have a lot of, oomph to go up and still? We got ADX rising. There we go. It's on 24%. Volatility, again, dropped a bit. There we go. It peaked a bit. But the fact is that it's been going up for a while. That's what makes me think that we should kind of open positions when we see a sell position. Right, so look also, right, it took, if we take like the previous highest point, right, let's take it from here, right, from about this, and this is, let me move my energy drink, there we go. Alright, so about here, right, let's say that it took them, alright, so 1326, right, it's 1326, to go from here, it actually went a little, wait, I'm sorry, from the previous high, there we go, around here. 1346, right? So 1346 to, it's about an hour. It took about an hour to go from this level, right? From here down to this, establishing lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, and it went about an hour. So now we're talking about 1438 to where it is, the 15. So half an hour. It took an hour to drop to this point and half an hour to raise to this point. To rise to this point. So, time-wise, it's a little, significantly quicker. So this is where we need to be aware that very soon this uptrend should be over. So we're keeping an eye out on, shaft. All right, so it's still up there, right? It's not rounding out, but we do have, if the bearish pressure continues, we do have the negative directional movement index climbing upwards, right? So we're kind of waiting a little bit to see what the market will do. It seems like it should be going down and testing this period. If it tests this now and breaks, and at that point we have a crossing. There we go, 2 bars. We got crossing of the MACD and signal line. We got rounding out of shaft. I would love to see a reversal of volatility. But yeah, I mean, we could, there we go. We got, on this candle, we got a fractal. That's usually, I kind of like, to use as an early signal that there should be bearish pressure. And you know what? I could actually even go for a little bit bigger position, and let's make sure that I got the proper expiration loaded. And we're going to wait another 30 seconds for the asset to see what pocket option on Euro Ruble pocket option clients on Euro Ruble will decide. All right, so right now whoever's trading, might be, oh, what the hell? No, not how did we get into tournaments? Wait, where's my real account? There we go. Something goofy happened. I'm not sure what the hell that was. Alright, so as I keep saying, that we got a potential for a testing of this period again. And if anybody's watching, ask me a question. Man, I hate talking to myself. I'm a people person. Come on, somebody, get in here and ask away. Alright, doing technical analysis, we kind of picked up, Euro Ruble OTC. No, we're not going to be trading it. We're not going to be trading it because the profitability has dropped significantly. right? So, actually, if I would have traded, I probably would have had to go with like a multiplier a bit more aggressive. Because if we lose $1 and we win at 68% on on $1.50, it's barely gonna cover, right? So 68 cents is gonna be, on the dollar, and essentially it's not gonna cover the loss of $1. So you have to go with a bit more aggressive multiplier, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. So be aware that because of the volume in any particular, or the situation that's unfolding in any particular asset, the risk could be lowered, right? So as I mentioned, the situation here really does point towards a decent downward movement for, afterwards. And essentially, if the risk lowers, if this is exactly what it's going to do, then the profitability will lower as well. So, all right. So keep in mind, my dear friends, as I mentioned, this is very important to realize that in pocket option, you got three entities involved. You have you as the trader, you have pocket option, and you have the market maker. So the market maker, it's a financial entity that takes on the risk if there is more buying than selling, or rather, if there's more winning than losing, because your profits don't come out of pocket options pockets. They come from other traders' losses, right? So when I lose 100%. At that point, somebody wins. That money goes to pay for their win. And if there was only two of us, you and me, that means that if I lose $10, you win 920, right? And essentially, where does the other money go to? A majority of that goes to the market maker, because if both of us buy up, then well, essentially, this is where, where does the profit come from? It comes from the market makers. All right. So something that worth keeping an eye, understanding. All right. All right. Wait a second. My internet clonked out. Love it when it does so at these kind of moments. All right, but actually, in about 15 minutes, we're going to take advantage of. In about 15 minutes, we're going to take advantage of the macro statistic. All right, let's actually take a look at this right now. There it is. All right. Oh, and I clicked on the camera. Wait a second. Let me come back. There we go. All right. So Canadian employment change. This is important enough where we're going to open, kind of actually, big position on the retracement. Retracement should be happening because what is it? A retracement is people cashing out. In the real market, when somebody opens a Forex position, in about 5, 6, 10, maybe 15 seconds later, it reaches, 20, 30, 40 pip movement. In euro dollar, about 1 pip equals about $10 worth of profit with a standard lot. So if there's a 20 pip movement in like 5 seconds, you just made $200. 30 pip movement, you made $300. NFP, which is usually moving like 50, 60 pips, you understand that, somebody's going to say, hey, $500 in about 5, 10 seconds, I'm good, let's do it. And obviously, some people don't open for one standard lot, they open for like 10, 20, maybe even more. So there's a lot of money to be made in these kind of spikes. So employment change, why is it important? Because it's vital economic data released shortly after the month's end. The combination of importance and earliness makes for hefty market impacts. That's what we're hoping for. We're going to see. Previous, right? When you look at any economic calendar, whether it's Forex Factory or Investing or Wall Street Journal, I think they have one as well. You should be able to kind of take a look at the previous, right? So it does move by a lot, right? So 1.1K, they were expecting a big growth, and it came out at a massive, wow, in April, a massive negative movement, or negative statistic, negative 32,000. I think there was, this political thing. In April, like in the beginning of the year, that's where usually political things happen, elections, things like that, and debates. And I do remember that Trudeau didn't really have very very big support. So if there is, I think he was trying like with the truckers. I read, maybe I'm wrong. If anybody's watching this from Canada, maybe you can set us straight. because you as an inside, person from inside the country might be getting, more raw data than diluted stuff that we get overseas. But yeah, I think there was some certain things with the truckers. I think he was making it almost, impossible to make money when moving goods, importing and exporting, moving goods back and forth. So, anyways, this is something that maybe is worth keeping an eye out. All right, so let's keep doing what we're doing for another like 10 minutes, and while I'm waiting for my internet to once again kind of bring me back to where I need to be, want to once again clarify that I do want you to guys to click on Pocket Option link. It's a great platform. And try some of these things out that we discuss, that we do in tournaments. In the demo account with regards to technical analysis. Obviously, if you have any kind of questions, you can reach out to me in a Telegram channel. I'll actually work with you one-on-one to clarify any questions that you might have. I'll send you the sheets directly to you where you'll be able to adjust certain numbers, to play around with the numbers to see where you feel comfortable, whether it's, with a lower multiplier, higher position, or the other way around. This obviously is something that's going to be made based on your statistics. So having said that, let's continue with what we've got here, right? We got Euro Ruble OTC. As I mentioned, that we got a, negative kind of potential happening, but if you can see, it's kind of split in this level. It's going sideways. I'm really not liking what I'm seeing from MACD, even though there's no crossing of the positive negative directional index. So even though there is a kind of 28% and kind of pointing that there is a trending move, I still don't feel it. And with regards to volatility, it's almost at an all-time low. So the candles are not going to be big. And even if the win is going to happen, it's going to happen like by 1 pip or a pipette. And this isn't like Fast and Furious, you win by an inch or a mile. Yeah, I don't know. This is where you want a little bit more, right? So there we go. We got a potential for a breakout right now. But since this is not exact science, we could adjust and say that, hey, you know what, at least 1 minute we should wait because this could be a false breakout. So again, no, this is not a situation that I like. It's been up here for a very long time. I think that it's due to go downward. But again, this is where, pocket option clients that might be not following technical analysis that we are getting to know right now. Maybe they're based on emotions. And look, there we go, parabolics on the bottom. It means that it's a signal that it's going to be going upwards, though it could be for just one candle. As I mentioned, we would need to wait a little bit. And I would say that this is almost like a rising, triangle. I kept mincing the words. Ascending right triangle, right? So, but it's not. So it should have been going lower, higher to this level, lower but a little bit less, higher, up to this level, lower but a little bit less. Here it's been kind of sawing the same level, so it's not even ascending right triangle. So I don't know, this, yeah, Euro Ruble, not really feeling it right now. All right, what do we got here? Also, let's take a look. We got relatively interesting support level, right? We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4-point contact. Alright, we could actually do the same somewhere from here for a resistance level, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. So boom, boom, boom. Not really great. It would have been great if it came down to this level again, bounced and again, but it kind of stayed here before breaking. So this is really not the situation that I want to see. This is what we want to see right here. Right, so a nice downward movement, right, where we got this, right, and then a cross right about here, with the following signals from shaft, from the high volatility, right. So this is pretty much, kind of like the situation that we're looking for, and also the same, where it kind of like clicked right here to go downwards. It did, but I don't know, Red. This is the situation again where I'm not really feeling it. Alright, let's see, what do we got? 92 CHF JPY. Do we have anything that we got a good resistance level here, right? Okay, and so this is the difficult part of doing this trading live. Sometimes you need to wait, right? So just like Euro Ruble, I kind of want to see a bit more of volatility, a bit of a trending move, maybe a crossing of positive, negative direction movement indexes. Euro CHF, we got really, okay, wait a second, we got a sell signal. We got a sell signal from everywhere. All right, let's see if we can take this position, right? Let's go for the next minute. And let's take this negative position. All right, because, all right, we got a crossing of the MACD and the signal line. We got crossing of the histogram. We got crossing, Shaft saying that it's a good idea. Volatility is not at an all-time low. It's not, really not too shabby. Though we're looking at 15%, so there's no trend behind this. So I'm thinking that we're going to win this position, but I'm not going to open another one for a downward, position, until I see a little bit maybe more. Look, volatility dropped down way low, so yeah, we're staying away from that for now. All right, still going up. CHF JPY, we got a decent resistance level, and I would actually say we got decent support level as well. This is actually almost picture perfect. Right, so it goes boom, 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 kind of stays up here for a little bit and then touches again, boom. All right, so we have a kind of rising negative trend, but it's been there for a while. I really wish that I entered right here with Shaft and Parabolic at least showing this is a good idea. It dropped to 80%, so once again, not really feeling this when it's not something that's done like against you specifically. This is just about the volume and the situation that's unfolding. So these guys might have been adjusting this. Okay, wait a second. What time? Okay, all right. So let's kind of go here because we actually got a timer going already, right? Considering that this is the last, or actually probably the only interesting thing for this week. Right, we unemployment claims yesterday, but that's a weekly statistic. It doesn't really move. GDP for GBP yesterday. Oh wait, today. Let's take a look at that. Actually, yeah. Let's switch off from technical analysis. Let's go towards fundamental a little bit. So if we put GBP in a real market, there we go. GBP CAD, for example, and we see that it was a negative statistic. So we should see a red candle at 9 a.m. Alright, so with 1 minute candles, let's go back to, there it is, right there it is, 9 a.m., right? Perfect. Right, so there was a spike, as you can see, right, and not really a big one. If we're talking about 185.71, right, 71, and the lowest point was 54, right? So 54, it was like, what, 17 pips. 17 pip movement in this candle right here. Not too shabby, right? 17 pip movement down, and there was, I would say, about like 30% retracement. And GDP, that's, what does Britain export, really? Rolls Royces, jet engines for planes, they don't really do. They're the reason why it's considered the most volatile of all currencies is because they are the country with banks. When big money moves around the world, it usually goes to the British banks and they get to keep commissions. So that's why GDP, 17 pips, not too shabby, right? Somebody opened the position standard lot here, if it's around $10, pretty much is. Then we're looking at, actually, their pip value is going to be a little bit bigger. But anyways, so 17 pip, about 30% retracement. That's actually something that we're going to be looking at right now for Canadian. And I would actually expect a little bit more. Canadian's not as volatile. There we go. We got 85%. There we go. AUD CAD 87%. Yeah. All right. Let's go to that one, right? And just in case, let's open a 81%er as well. All right. So AUD CAD, right? We don't need any kind of indicators. This is another thing that I keep saying. um, something that you can do on the go, right? Something that you can do even while you're at work. You can just take yourself to get a drink. Literally, it will take like 2-3 minutes, and it's gonna play out by itself. All right, so 4 minutes from now, exactly 4 minutes. There it is, right? So in three candles, at the end of the fourth candle, there will be a spike. There will be an impulse, right? And I'm not clairvoyant or anything like that. This is not pre-recorded. You are able to click on token option link below and I don't know, verify this, right? So it seems like there was a bit of a, not downtrend, but it seems like it's going sideways right now. Some of this data is being gathered. This data is going to be released about half a second before to some people that are subscribed to certain services like the terminal, right? And computers will open this based on this data, the computers will open certain positions very quickly. So the impulse will happen immediately, but the statistic behind this statistic, the actual number, is going to actually pend. It's going to be pending. Pending is going to wait to update for about 10-15 seconds, sometimes 5, 10, 15, and the movement already happens. So we're going to do just a retracement today, and I'm going to open for $100 as I mentioned, and next one's going to be 200, next one's going to be 600. So I'm going to do multiplier of 2. It's going to be a bit aggressive, but employment statistic is important enough for the economy, right? That something's going to push somebody to invest or not into Canadian dollar. So right now, because this is not a surprise, we know about it. We know exactly what's, the second it will happen. People across the world, if you choose to, to put your own time here, you will essentially understand, you will see this as well. And that's why everybody will react to it immediately. And there should be a spike followed by a retracement, but I'm not really going to open pending trades on this because I don't remember really seeing this statistic showing like 30-40 pip movement, like CPI potential. Consumer Price Index, which is also kind of used as gauge for inflation, is actually very, very important no matter what country you're looking for. But employment statistic, just like NFP, it's an employment statistic, but it's from the biggest country or economy in the world, and that's why it moves like 50-60 pips. CPI like 30-40 pips. Employment statistic, not sure. I think that it should be good enough to create a 20, maybe a 20, 10, 15, 20 pip movement. It should be noticeable, but I don't know if it's going to be like 30-40 pips. So we're going to, there we go. And at the end of this minute, there we go, at the end of this candle, we should see a spike. And afterwards, I'm actually going to go hop into my 4x4 and I'm going to head to the mountains with my kids. So my dear friends, just in case, let's, see what this happens. I think that there should be a big move. Obviously, market could do something goofy, so we're going to, not just shoot from the hip. We're going to wait for a spike. We're going to see if there is a retrace. We're going to see, about the retracement. So $100, $200, $600 is on the line right now. And if I don't make it on this one, I know I'm going to make it on the other ones. So there we go, 17, there we go, 15 seconds. We already see jerkier moves. This is actually where some banks could be pushing the market into one direction to open up a bit of volume to go into a different. So 3, 2, 1, release the Kraken. Oh no, son of a gun. All right, I kind of goofed up. Hold on. We had it on the flag instead of on the timer. I usually do it on the timer. All right, so in about 40 seconds, the candle will close, but in about 45 seconds or so, we're going to see the closing of my position. All right, so what do we got? We got, all right, so if we hop in here, see, it's still pending. There we go, 83K. So we got unemployment change, going in Jesus Christ, I mean, that's freaking unbelievable change, really. We go from single digits to double massive digits. But you know what? Forecast seems to be pointing, by big margin, actually. So, I don't know. There we go. Really not. All right, so we're going to win this position. All right, we got like 5 seconds or so when I open the position. There we go. All right, so 187 bucks in my pocket, baby. Money! Ah! All right, spike, retracement. Actually, let's take a look. We got 9. Okay, so we got AUD CAD, 87%. See, we got GBP CAD is 44. Wow, that's pitiful. All right, so AUD CAD, let's kind of take a look. We got 8, well, we got 18474, and the lowest was 18426. Wow, actually, we're talking about like 48 pip movement. Not too freaking shabby. I'll make a mental note of this because we could have actually done a pending trade with this, right? With usually like 4 pip difference for up and down. It gives us a corridor, and when it shoots into one direction, it activates immediately at the level on the impulse, right? There's going to be a spike followed by a retracement, which usually happens because people clear out their money. All right, on this note, my dear friends, thank you so much for joining me. Morpheus out until Monday, but we'll be back with lots of more interesting content. So I hope to see you next week, where I get to prove to you yet again that you're able to make money. And oh, by the way, next week should be actually much more exciting because we got a bunch of CPIs next week. Let's take a look. Let me just quickly peruse. All right, there we go. We got Canadian CPI. Hell yeah. We got USD CPI. Crap. It's actually happening at the same time, so we're not really going to be able to take advantage of both. We're going to have to choose one. I'm going to choose United States, obviously, and this really, I think, because of the July 4th holidays, it shifted a whole bunch of these statistics. We got GBP CPI. We do have PPIs. I would actually encourage you to take a look at these as well, but we're probably going to do, let me just double check, on Monday, or we're probably taking advantage of the British CPI on when the hell is it? Yeah, Wednesday the 16th, right? So 7/16. Oh no, we were doing at 15:30. We're gonna do, yeah. I would encourage you guys to take, keep an eye out on this, because we're gonna kind of get into our groove, taking advantage of the PPI. United States still the biggest economy in the world, and that's why we're kind of gonna give it more attention. But CPI for Britain is something worthwhile looking into. I'll remind you guys about this on Tuesday. Right, Wednesday we got retail sales, third most popular macro statistic, but it's not always moves the market. Right. So, anyways, again, thank you so much for joining me, spending a little bit of time with Morpheus. We made some money. I get to prove to you live that this is something, and steadily over the course of a long period, that we are able to make money as long as we stick to the plan. Thanks so much, my dear friends. I will see you all Monday.